Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the Overwatch, or the Play vs Overwatch playoffs here at Southeastern University. My name is Finn Berry.
My name is Austin Clokus.
This is going to be a good time. But you know, Austin, you asked me to ask you a question, so I'll ask that question without further ado.
Well,
why are you wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt?
You weren't supposed to, Okay.
I know, I wanted to ruin your joke.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a joke. I just wanted to share that I'm ready for summer. And I think everybody in the stream can agree with me. Summer is here. I want it to come. I'm ready. We got one more week. College students. I don't know if you're watching this and you're in high school. I'm sorry. It sucks to be you. I don't know.
Regardless, though, we have a full night of Overwatch coming up here. We are going to be playing games. It's scheduled to go till 9 o'clock. That's 4 hours of Overwatch. Austin,
4.
Have you ever played 4 hours of Overwatch straight?
Finn, I think we both have played 4 hours.
I think we have played 4 hours of Overwatch.
I think we, but I don't even know if I've watched 4 hours of Overwatch. I haven't even casted for 4 hours of Overwatch, but tonight's the first night for everything. So, if you're planning to be here for the 4 hours, we welcome you. Grab a cup of coffee because you're going to need it to stay up. Grab your popcorn. What?
You think people are falling asleep at night?
I am. I'm tired. Guys, finals week has been killer. It's going to be killer. It hasn't even really started yet, but grab your coffee, grab your Mountain Dew, grab your Sprite, grab your water, popcorn, snack, grab whatever makes you comfortable because we're going to be here for a while and we are so glad that you're joining us tonight. I'm really excited. And let me tell you, Finn, this is the game this is the series, I should say, that I've been looking forward to for the past 2 weeks. SCU, the black team has really come a long way. Let's just start for a bit. I mean, you look at last semester and they got knocked out in the second round of the Sun Conference.
That was just nice.
And they got knocked out in the second round of NACE. Excuse me. And they made a few team adjustments. We see Kale on the team. We see J Champ starting on the team as support. And now they're here. Now they are in Play VS. The playoffs are starting, and I don't ever want to speak, but I feel like this could go all the way.
I think Black Team has a very good chance of going all the way to the
Absolutely.
finals. And, looking at the bracket here, our first game is against BSC, Virginia Bobcats.
Right.
I think this is going to be an interesting match.
And can we screen share the bracket, or are we?
I don't know if we're allowed to do this.
Just to look ahead, but, if we look at this bracket, you might not be able to see it. If we go up a little bit. Probably.
Skycam and show?
No, we're all right. But I feel like if you were to look at this, SU was actually really happy because one of the teams that they did not want to run into earlier rounds is Boise. Boise is in an entirely different bracket. They're the number 1 seed, so it's looking like they won't even have to hit Boise until the finals.
Until the quarterfinals.
No, isn't this?
No, because look here. So you go here, right, and then you go to semis.
Right,
so
but they're not in this.
Yeah,
they are in this. Okay, you're right. They won't have to hit them until they get to the semis.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
until the
but here we go. It looks like we're getting started. I wasn't sure. I heard a weird sound effect. But nevertheless, you look at this, I think if we're looking through the bracket, some other teams I think SU might struggle with a little bit. UNT was a team that they lost to earlier on in the semester, but note they were down 2 players for that game. Their practices were a little scuffed, according to Nadian, their team captain. So, I don't necessarily want to say that UNT is a team they can't beat. I don't think there's any teams in this bracket that they cannot beat. But looking ahead, these are some teams that might give them some trouble.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough set of fights ahead of SU here. So if we're looking at the bracket, right, and I think we could go ahead. Oh wait, what's going on here? Hi.
Oh, and we're looking for the stream.
Hi.
So.
3 minutes.
And give me 1 second. I'm gonna.
What are you checking?
I know Gia was yelling a little bit. I was just making sure there weren't going to be any
Was it going to be any
extreme noises so that we can make sure to.
Extreme noises.
Hey, extreme noises. You see what I did there, eh?
I'm not proud of you.
Anyway, looking ahead, this first match, I think something that is so, I feel like advantageous for a tournament format is you get to play while you're hot.
That's
moving
true.
forward.
This is very true.
If SCU wins this match, or let's say SCU loses this match, then BSC or Fire, one of them is going to move into this next match hot against their opponent, who will be hot too. But we know that both of these teams, when coming into each next match, will be playing with momentum. However, tournament style is also difficult, especially this one. I don't know if you don't know the way this format works. This is single elimination. If you lose one match, you are out. And my apologies for the bumps. This desk is being a little bit wobbly for us today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just orient my chair right under there. So then, boom, it's wobble proof now.
Regardless, though, looking at the bracket here, in terms of who SCU will face next if they move on, the other match in this current set is Becker Blue versus Tamusa ESports. Now, based on the seeding, Becker is in the higher chance of winning, being the 5th seed.
Becker is
versus
the 5th seed.
28th seed. And honestly, I think this holds true from what we've seen. I feel Becker has a good chance of winning against Tamusa, whatever.
Tamesa.
Tamesa.
I don't know, whatever it is. But either way, I would agree with you, Finn, but what you also have to remember is seeding's not everything. If you look at our number, SCU is currently seeded number 21, and they are going up against They're going up against BSC, the Bobcats, who are seeded 12th. So I think what this says, though, is seeding doesn't mean everything. I know SCU. I talked to Nathan about, why are you seeded on the lower side? Because there was a time we thought they were going to be 18th. There was a time they thought they were going to be 12th. There was a time they thought they were going to be top 3. It's all over the place. But I think specifically Fire Esports, the black team, did kind of have a little bit of a rut where they lost a few games back to back, and it was like we talked about earlier. They just had a lack of chemistry. Their team, there had some mix-ups. They were playing some subs for some games, but I think SCU, despite their seeding, is coming into this game ready.
No,
they know
I agree
what's
with
at
you
stake.
wholeheartedly here. They're coming in with this mindset of they know what went wrong those past few games that they lost, and now they've looked to improve and fix those problems, especially now that they have the whole roster raring to go and everyone's ready for this game. Everyone's been preparing, and we did just come off of our fun inter-team tournament, but I feel like that's more positive than negative, and I talked about it during the inter-team tournament, where this positive energy of just having fun even if you lose is important going into something like playoffs.
Absolutely.
Now, honestly though, I think the playoffs are still going to be a bit of an interesting ride. And the reason for that being, we have some great teams in this bracket. Now, overall, in terms of the other bracket and who SU might face in the finals, I'm going to go ahead and say UNT is a highly chance. If SU makes it to the finals, I'm thinking UNT is the highest chance of the other teams.
UNT seeded second.
Are seeded 2, and I'm not just saying this based off of seeding.
Oh, here we go.
I just know UNT has had a pretty good run so far, and if they stick with it, it's going to be an easy time for them. But nonetheless, we're heading into Elios for game number 1 of the first match tonight.
And just to clarify for both our viewers and even myself, these are best of 3, correct?
Are they best of 3?
Are they best of 3 or are they best of 5? I think
they're best of 5.
Best of 5. I was just making sure that
I believe we're
are
still
on the
best of
same
5.
page, both us and the viewership. So what I want to talk about, though, is really the team comp we've seen. Because we have seen comp, like all sorts of comp. But I kind of see... for starters, DPS, I would love to see the McCree and the May. And as I say it, we see the McCree May, but here's another thing: the Kairos and Mako tanks going Rotten and Hog. Okay, there you go. Switching over to Diva, the more standard comp they've been running this season. I was wondering if Kairos drew a little inspiration from my gameplay over the past few months of playing Hog. But nevertheless, going to be sticking with the Diva, which he's played quite well. I think Diva's a great tank, great comp. I think with Diva, though, you have to be good enough to know when to not overextend yourself. Because Diva's a tank that, honestly, you can burn her mech surprisingly fast.
Yeah, 100%. Diva, you know, all she's got in terms of actual defense is her defense matrix. And the defense matrix only lasts for so long. But honestly, the thing I want to look at, and I think is going to be very important for this match, is Everlong and Agape here. And the reason I say that is Farah in particular is extremely powerful because the point is out in the open. There's no cover from a Farah there. And so it's going to be up to Agape on SEU here to take out Everlong and make it so that he is rendered useless.
Right, they got to deal with that pharmacy, and look at the way they're playing this. They're playing
Already
inside
barrage.
the one structure there. It says Nadian going to get the first kill on Narwhal, but they are playing within that structure because they're wary of that Pharah. They're staying under these roofed
Bobcats are looking
surfaces.
for it.
Oh, and a big fire strike by Mako,
my
knocking off the McCree and the Ana, and this time the Zarya's gonna go down too, and what a great fight for SU. It looks like they're gonna get the win. Kairo's gonna go down, but nevertheless SU will cap the point. And you were talking a lot about that Pharah. They won that fight because of how well they played around it. They realized there's a pharmacy. Usually that's where teams are gonna look to get most of their damage. There was that pharmacy, and they're doing it again. They say let's play under these structures, and that rendered the pharmacy almost ineffective there.
Yeah, I agree, but you know the interesting
Oh, there's a high noon in the first ult of the game.
Fabian?
There's Immortality Field.
Oh,
Can they break it?
Oh,
Not going to get anything. I thought for a second it might get the
Agape gets
Baptiste.
taken out by Everlong here, and I was going to say Everlong didn't get killed in that entire first fight, and now it's going to be the Bobcats actually taking the point here in the second engagement, and SU is going to be taken out one by one here. And the thing to watch is Everlong got his barrage during that first fight extremely early on and has saved it. I think we're going to actually, potentially, just because of the amount of shots they're actually able to take down, we might see a nano barrage here. I think it's a very, very low chance, in all honesty, but I have a sneaking suspicion it is highly possible.
Absolutely.
And the reason for that is, sorry to cut you off, but Everlong has just been hitting his rockets. And here we go.
Here's barrage!
It's the barrage, the grab, and the nano coming out from Bobcats here. It's going to be the nano on.
And that's going to be a team kill, and that was a nano, grab, and barrage, if I'm not mistaken. And the beat did go out from Nadian to combat. Is Agape going to go down here? But no. You know, if you look at this game and how it's unfolded so far, it really has been Everlong sort of determining every fight. That first opening fight, she was really ineffective because of how SU played under the structure. Then she was able to get more damage and they won the fight. It really has been Everlong, and the question is, can SU deal with him, deal with him? And Everlong has not died this entire match, but here you go, the high noon to combat the pharmacy. And, you know, they did not get the far there, but they did get her heal. And that should be big. But the Ryan's going to go down.
Yeah. And you know, we've talked about before a bit, but Reinhardt is such a key player.
He really is.
If you have a Reinhardt and they go down, suddenly you're like, crap, this is an issue here.
Right.
And it really causes so many problems. Mako trying to make it back, self-destructing and be popped by Kairos here, but the bubble
if
from
only she could
Narwhal
destroy
is
that
going to keep
bubble.
everyone on Bobcats alive here. Kale gets taken down. Kairos is trying to stall here, 94% for the Bobcats. Now Narwhal is diving in on top of him. Kairos is going to be making his way out. Mako waiting on the sidelines, waiting for the rest of his team. Nadian swung in there, just going in.
Oh no, the monkey bubble.
Yeah, I think honestly SU's just going to have to play for a second map.
I agree with you, Fan, and it's going to start by learning how to combat that pharmacy. The only kill they got on the two of them was that high noon. It got the Mercy out of the way, but the Pharah once again did not die. And you look at their DPS. They have the McCree. The McCree wasn't able to do much against the Pharah. They also have a Mei, and the Mei not really one to combat the Pharah much either.
Honestly, I'm going to say that the Mei is not the call here. I don't think Mei
I would have to agree.
I don't think Mei has been effective against the Bobcats here. And wow, I gotta say, I was going to say if we get Lighthouse, we're probably gonna see a swap off of the Pharah. But we got Ruins, and that means we're going to be seeing Pharah once again.
Right.
And this is going to be interesting because Everlong died one time.
Is Kale going Widow here? Kale is.
Fabian is as well.
This is a very risky move, but this is usually a Widow map. Oh, and
watch this. Ooh, the body shot from both.
Both of them
Kale's
gonna
is going
get
to
a
deal
hit,
more damage. And
Kale gonna die by Everlong.
Everlong.
I think this is the point when you switch off the Widow. I don't think you stay on the Widow for too long if I'm Kale.
I don't know. I think you could definitely stay on it to counter the Bobcats' Widow as well as get rid of
Fabian
the
gonna get
Pharah
2 kills.
Because now all it takes, J-Champ can fall here, but all it takes to get rid of the Pharah is you just have to hit your shot.
But look at the Pharah. The Pharah is just kind of allowed to do whatever she wants, and I think that's not Widow's not really the answer when you have that opposing Widow.
It is going to be the Soldier.
Oh, Kale gonna be switching to the Soldier, and that's something I have to agree with. I think right now this game and me being complete, but Agape switching to the Tracer, an interesting move. But I cut myself off there. What I think is really gonna be the key to this game is it's gonna be Kale. Is Kale going to be able to silence this Pharah?
Agape actually swapping to the Widowmaker here, so they've decided, we really need the double hit scan here to get.
I like Agape's aim here.
Pharah. Yeah, and Agape has proven himself throughout matches that we've seen in the past that his Widowmaker can hit some sweet shots. He's not going to get the sleep, though, coming out from Nady and onto that barrage there. It will get Kale, though, and Agape actually going to be taken down by OBL here. And now, we haven't talked too much of the tanks on the side of the Bobcats here, and that's basically been because it's been Everlong who's just been destroying SEU during this first game, or this first map. And honestly, we've kind of talked about before, I don't think that capture point maps are SEU's strong suit. I think they play better towards the escort and the hybrid types.
I would have to agree. They lose this first one. If they do, I think that... Oh, and let's just watch this. Fabian not going to be able to get the kill. But I think that SCU does need to make more opportunities, because I think if you look at the healers, the healers, specifically Nady, and give it... Oh, and Agape going to get Everlong. There is the res, but that's out of the fight now. What I would say here, though,
that's Valk Mines and the visor up for Bobcats here. No ultimates on the side of SCU so far.
And dang, SCU has not even been able to get on the point so far, much less touch it.
This has just been an absolute shutout for SCU here. The Bobcats have had no mercy. Shots coming through from the McCree here. Kale doing what he can. The flashbang is going to land on the OBL, and OBL is going to run away here. The stall needs to come out from SCU if they want to make something happen, but they won't. And game number 1 goes to the Bobcats.
And if you had to describe the playmakers, why this game went to the Bobcats, it's those DPS players. You look at Fabian, you look at Everlong. Fabian was able to use his Widowmaker that last point, do some damage, but at the end of the day, Everlong carried both of those 2 points, was able to get so much damage passed through, really because maybe, and there you go, you have B to Stinger subbing in for J-Champ. J-Champ, usually the backup healer, was able to start this game, but this time B is going to return to the starting lineup, and it looks like we're down a player.
I believe Kairos got disconnected.
He got Quinn. He got Quinn. Here you go. But while we are fixing these technical issues, let's just continue what we were talking about. I think SU at this point just trying to figure out how to counter that Pharah, depending on King's Road. So I don't know if we see the Pharah here.
I think we might actually.
Maybe first point.
For first point, because here's the thing: Pharah, perfect hair.
Is it Pharah or is it Pharah?
I call her Pharah.
I say Pharah.
I interchange it. But regardless, I think Pharah is good for the capture point, right?
Right.
But I don't think she's that good for the actual payload portion of the map.
Well, especially because you're talking about a map that is relatively narrow. There's not too many places you can go on King's Row, and you also don't have a ton of verticality, which is or open space, which is what you need with Pharah. King's Row just doesn't have that openness that these past few maps have. So I think you would see the Pharah on the first point, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them switch off after it.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I would see a
Widow here, possibly.
I think we're going to see the Hanzo from Agape. It's kind of his favorite. We've seen him pick it but last time on King's Row.
I was going to say, be careful about your words here. But I would not be surprised to see a McCree again. I know he struggled a little bit on McCree last game, but I would not. Oh, and it looks like
we're just having a discussion.
We're trying to figure out what's going on here. But as we prep we could talk about the comp. I would not be
I-
surprised to see SEU go back to that McCree May.
Mm-hmm.
I know they switched off it early last game, but it's a different map, and it's the comp that they've practiced with the most.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be
And,
surprised.
May is really great on Kings Row due to the fact that she can wall off opponents, especially on that first point.
Right.
But due to the fact that the map is so narrow as we talked about, that wall is effective. It's effective here during the cross. It's effective right here as well. It's also effective up here because then players have to go around. It's effective over here because then players got to go around. It's
Right.
also really effective.
This is the wall?
Here, yeah.
Yeah,
talking about the wall.
it's just great
It's
to
also
zone
good
off
right
players.
here because forcing players to go around can be just as bad as making them not have anywhere.
And
to
it's
go at all.
especially effective, like you said, on that very first point. They got to go through a very narrow opening. I think this is one of the few points where there's only really one main entrance to the point. I think it's this one, and then the other map. I'm trying to remember the Genji map.
Hanamura.
Hanamura is another
Shinada
one of
map.
them.
Everyone going to be running the Pharah once again. We
Yep.
kind of called it. We said this is most likely the case. And I would even say Pharah's good during this first push.
Like we said it. We said,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be surprised. But if SU is able to get this point quick, I would not be surprised at all to see a swap off. But
I honestly think the Pharah might stay until they get to the factory.
Okay.
And my reasoning for that is the fact that this area has some vertical space, right? There's
Right.
no ceiling there. But it's also small. And splash damage from the rockets is huge.
Right.
All right. That's the thing about Pharah, right? You don't have to be directly on target for the damage to come through all the way.
yep, I
So,
agree with you.
That's the thing about Pharah.
See
and I
Fabian
think
going to be able to get any kills
Everlong
here. And
has
SU's
just been
going
destroying
high ground here. They have the Diva, they have the Rhine, and like I said, they have the May McCree. It's the comp they practice with the most.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I like these tank picks still. I know they didn't work out too well for them on Helios, but Diva and Reinhardt are both good against Pharah. And the reason for that is you block things with the defense matrix, you block them with the shield, and if you're Diva, you can fly up and face her head
They got to
on.
get the Pharah.
They're
Oh, the
making a
Pharah's
cross-
20.
Oh, she almost killed herself there.
Big antsy.
They're going all the way.
Yeah. Again, it's just like they did on that last point, is staying in structure as long as you can to make that Pharah as ineffective as possible. They're trying to peek to get some shots. The McCree's going to be looking for her.
It's gonna
Oh,
be
and Kairos on a mech.
He's going to be taken down here already in the fight. It's going to be 2, 3 falling here for SEU. Make it 4. It's about to be 5. And that's going to be SU on the back foot starting off agape.
They're gonna have to retreat
He's
here.
going to fall as well. And that's
And-
a team kill for the Bobcats.
And you saw Agape sort of taking an off angle there, sort of trying to flank a little bit. But unless you're going to be able to kill the Pharah, I don't know if that's the strat you want to go with.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. It's interesting because we haven't really seen Pharah played throughout the season. And now that we are, I'm realizing, Pharah's not technically that hard to take down, but when you haven't played against her in a long time, it's weird.
Especially not just a Pharah, but a pharmacy. But the Pharah's going to go down.
Yep.
And there's Mercy, so there's no res there, and it looks like they might be able to win this fight.
They got 3, and they're on the point
Diva's
here.
going
it's gonna
up.
be Kairos going straight up in, but
Now, it's not a sure thing yet because you have that Orisa with an on a pocket, and that's
Watch Fabian.
no easy task.
No.
But they
it's
do
going
have numbers
to roll,
here.
Coming around here to the side. He's got the bongos ready to go. Everlong making his way back.
Everlong
to
is
the
back.
point here. The nano.
Gets the
and
nano.
rockets.
You called it
The
earlier.
defense matrix, though, is going to eat it up here. They didn't wait to get the
Huge.
matrix
And they're
gone.
gonna cap the
SU
point.
gets the point.
And that's a blunder by BSC. They had the numbers to touch, but not able to. And even though they're going to finish off SCU, it really doesn't matter.
No, and it doesn't
Wasted the
matter
bongos there, honestly.
Even more, because here's the thing, right? The payload on Kings Row takes a minute to come
Oh, and
out.
B going to knock out the Widow.
Look at that. The supports can test the Widow. It should be Nadian on the Lucio doing it, but regardless.
Right.
Anyways, as we continue on here, we've got 4 ultimates ready, about to be all 6 for SU here, and 1 ultimate, the Barrage, back up again for BSC. It's just going full send for SU, though. They say, you know what, we won the fight, we're going to win the next, we're going to win the next. But Fabian says no to Kale there with a nice little headshot, and Kale goes down. It was a couple of ultimates used during that engagement there. Both of them, I'd say, very well used overall. The stuns coming through in the window, getting some great damage. And they're just going to be making their way down the streets of Kings Row without a care in the world. as we go past the bookstore here and Bell's Chips.
And BSC just going to try to regroup here. They've got some time. They don't have to worry about retouching just yet. They're going to have a second fight here.
Yeah, I think the fight's going to be kicking off
right
now.
Everlong, he is low, and Everlong going to die, and Kairo's going to get the mercy, and SCU doing a much better job wiping out that pharmacy as opposed to last map.
Yeah, I don't know what changed there.
You know what?
I was having trouble during that first part.
Right.
But now we see a change where they're getting the kills they need.
You know what I think it is, though? I do think it is that narrowness of this map. Like I said, as far as most effective in open space, and this map just doesn't have a lot of it. And I would not be surprised to see a swap off here after the barrage.
Yeah, I think we're going to see
the and even before. Okay, there you go. And I wonder, do you have a bunch of combos here. You probably are going to bongo the barrage. But you also could nano it. I don't know if you see the nano, though. I think you save the nano for somebody like your Hog.
Maybe the Hog. No.
Oh, nope. Never mind.
High Noon coming out from Agape, though. It's not going to get out in time. OBL gets him with a hook here, and the barrage is coming down. It's going to get one on an 80 in here. Kale's going to be up in the ice block, but it's not going to keep him safe for long. And it's a team kill for BSC.
But you know what?
My goodness.
They got that team kill, but look at how many ults they used. They use the bongos, they use the Valkyrie, they use the barrage, they use the nano. They used 4 ults to win that fight.
Why did OBL and Tetsuo suicide off the map?
I don't really think that they needed to use all those ults, if you ask me.
No, I agree.
But again, I think it's like the old saying that I just made up goes. Like, and this could be a big snow globe.
Oh, that's a great blizzard there, but it is going to be OBL.
Kairo's going to get 2 with it.
Nice self-destruct.
And that was a great combo. You love to see that.
Fabian over in the side, they're not going to chase though, which I think
going
is the best
after.
Everlong.
Oh, he's low. Kale, is he going to be able to get
he's
through?
He's going to be Kyle Freeze up. The tank May.
Agape popping off, getting a few kills.
Push here. Here comes the ball.
And there you go. SCU's going to get all 3 points.
You're taking my wire. You're taking my wire. Yes, sir. What's up?
What a opening map for SCU. You know, they came out there, they sort of had to make a statement. You know, they got, I dare I say, rolled on that first map, and this one a little bit of hope for SCU. But like you said, they did do a great job combating that pharmacy. You know, it was a character, the Pharah, not one they played against often. They struggled early on, but this time able to combat it. And maybe after this match, if we get an interview, we can talk about how they were able to combat it. Me personally, I think a big part of it's the map change. Another big part of it might just be being more aware of what needs to get done. Nevertheless, they were able to combat the Pharah, and now we see the Pharah no longer there at all for BSC.
Yeah, I know. And I'm curious to see. You know, we normally see Agape on Hanzo during matches. We don't see a lot of other teams pull out the Hanzo. But regardless here, I'm curious to see how Everlong performs on a different kind of character. We've only seen them play the Pharah so far, so it'll be interesting to see on the hits.
I'm excited to see Everlong play a McCree because, no offense with the Pharah, but not a lot of aim involved. You know, there's skill, of course, but, you know, I think... Oh no! Kale didn't have to do it to him.
The icicle.
And there's the wall, and that's big.
Here we go. You know, SCU on the defense here. They're coming off with that momentum from that full push on Kings Row here. And now the defense on Kings Row, they're saying, you know,
back up, SCU. Don't over-engage here. Be careful. But wow, I love how we were talking about Everlong and how he was going to do on McCree. And Kale said, not today, folks. You don't get to see him even take a shot.
No, indeed.
Kale on the May is going to get that headshot icicle. And a great opening defensive stand by SCU.
I'm going to say, like, that icicle really helped blow that
but this time,
that attack down.
This is looking like an interesting position.
Here. It's going to be everyone
That's
in
a nice
the corner.
immortality
That's a lot of immortality fields out. Here comes the window up from SCU here.
They're about evened out here. Both Rhines are down, but Kale going to pop off with 2 kills on the Fabian and Tutso. This time Kairo's going to punch Everlong and May's demexed. So much going on in Agape.
May demexed.
Can we put in May in a mech? I feel like it's like, how broken do you want this character to be? Like, she's already got more abilities than she needs. Let's just put her in a mech too.
Let's just do that. You know, just because we can.
But SCU showing a drastically different attitude on this point in high noon. Let's see how it's going to play out.
I think
probably popping it here, but self-destruct.
And the high noon coming out here. It's going to be the high noon in response, and Everlong gets his off first with that sound barrier, keeping him alive here. Oh, but the shatter is going to stop into the blizzard.
Tide.
This is great. This is what SU need. The freeze is coming through on the OBL.
Kale's getting low, though. Can Kale...
Oh, he gets taken down. Fabian's coming in, though. Here we go. It's up to Mako and Kairos, the baby diva, and the Reinhardt, the man with the hammer and the girl with the gun. But
there's no heals for Mako.
Team. They are able to get back on the point. They can retouch.
They retouch here.
They're waiting it out. Here we go.
Fabian's gonna ice wall Blizzard here.
Oh, he's not able to. Oh, the sound barrier though, and that flashbang is going to
comes out here.
Blizzard comes out. The wall is going to keep Agape stuck off to the side, but the contest is still coming through. Nadian still alive for the moment there, and here comes Kairos for the stall.
Kairos
not going
to
get there in time though. 4 minutes on the clock for the push. Dang. I will say they
didn't even try to stagger the baby diva there.
No, they did not. But I will say, Bobcats capped this in more time. It took them longer to cap it. SU had 4:14 on the clock when they capped the payload.
They did.
So they have a few seconds less than what SU had. So we'll see how this goes.
You could say that, but you also look at BSC, and BSC has a great ult economy right now. You look at them, 4 ults. There's the window, the first of them, and it looks like that's going to secure 2 kills, maybe a third. No.
That's huge.
Yeah,
BSC
that might even take them all the way down to the point. They're putting on the pressure. Can they stagger them a little bit? Going after the tanks, but going to play it a little bit safe as they back up. Oh, and this is a strange spot for Baptiste, but he's going to be able to get out of it. The Stinger. They might be able to get in another fight if they're lucky, but the question is, do they have the ults? You know, that's going to be their win condition right now for BSC. That's going to be high noon. Going to be able to get looking like 2 kills, but no, they're playing it safe. Can they retouch, though?
Oh,
and that freeze is going to be
that
crucial.
shatter didn't get anything. The shatter from Mako was stopped.
Going to come in.
Unfortunately here. And now it's going to be Fabian tearing through SU's lines on the May here. The ice wall coming up. Kale is stuck and alone. And the McCree, the flashbang coming through, but Agape, dang, did you see that shot there? That was quite a shot.
Absolutely, and SCU is going to have to buckle down here and make a defensive stand. There's plenty of time for BSC to cap this, what looked like a strong start for SCU defensively. Things are now shifting in the tide of BSC. It depends on what they're going to be able to do here. Still a lot of ults for BSC. Like, look at how they manage these, and that's going to be high noon, maybe comboing it with a window. Let's see if it's going to get anything. No, Agape is not going to be able to get anything. They may go down, but no, she won't. Beautiful beat there.
Where did that blizzard land? What? That shatter gets everyone on SU, though, and the self-destruct comes through. Kairos' self-destruct is just going to get the Rhine shield here, and it's going to be BSC looking for the full push to bring us to overtime.
I think if SU has anything good to say about that last play is the Diva wasn't staggered. At least they're going to be able to get in another full touch. But there's going to be the high noon, a good wall to block it off, but going to be able to get around it. But no, is that a B?
There's the B.
Oh, no, there's the B by Navy.
It was just
couldn't have been a better time for it.
Yep, the shields are up, and they're going to be pushing back. SU has the advantage here with the spawn location being so close. Heals are coming through. Kairos and Narwhal are going to be the first 2 to fall in this fight here. Nathan just going in on Everlong here. Says, you get back. Agape falls as well.
Oh, and going to destroy Mako.
It's going to be Mako down as well.
With the recall.
Kairos is back. He's got to hurry and get up. But unfortunately here, it's going to be BSC and the Bobcats charging on through here.
Looking at the time, they're both identical right now.
He's going to be taken down here.
Oh, and booped off as well. Can the ball touch? The ball will be able to.
Touching.
Mako doing everything he can to stay alive. There's an immortality field and
the high noon from Everlong. It's walled off again.
Not even going to matter, though.
The blizzard, it's not going to be enough. And we're going to overtime.
SCU not able to stop BSC from capping the payload, but you know what? They were able to do it in less time, so at least they can hold their heads high about that.
SCU has 2 minutes 20 seconds versus a full just 2 minutes.
And I think if you're Everlong right now, the one thing his team might be telling him is stay on the McCree.
Yeah, I think the McCree was honestly working for them. And Everlong has proven himself as quite a formidable DPS player tonight.
He's been playing very well.
I would say he's even been the big cornerstone of the Bobcats so far.
Right.
Not to say everyone else is playing bad, because they're not. It's just simply Everlong has been getting the picks that need to be picked.
Exactly.
He's getting the prime cuts, as it were.
Right, and this is going to be a really interesting sequence right here. I don't know, SCU needs to win this one. I'm just going to be honest. I know this isn't the final game. I know they could get a reverse sweep, but I just think mentally it would mean so much for them to get a win here so that they could have the momentum to push through for the next matches afterward. I think this is sort of the match that could turn the tides for them, but it all starts with a strong defensive hold here.
I agree with you 100%, Austin. This is not a must-win game in the sense that they lose the series from this, but I think the mental strength they gain for winning this is
two headshots from Fabian.
Yeah, jeez. Mako is
Immortality
going to be taking
coming out really
Kairos
early.
Is going to be stuck on the other
wall's
side of the
going to get
wall.
deep out of mech.
And now Kairos out of mech here. Mako trying
Mako's
to
going to go down too.
He's going to go down. And now it's just going to be the Bobcats here charging on through. They say, we want the point. The point is ours. And they're all the way on it here, trying to wall him off as Kale. But Kale is going to be taken down. And it's just the zoning from Fabian and Everlong that has been insanely good tonight.
Nadian's going to stall for as long as he can, but Alucio can only do so much as in less than a minute, BSC already grabs the payload.
Yeah, and now as they
That's a steamroll, and they're going to push up. There will be a May wall. Not going to be able to stop them too much, though.
Yeah, they're just going to leave Tetsuo back on the point here. And now it's going to be Everlong making his way back, saying, you know what, guys, we can't just stay up the whole time, as nice as that would be. It's just not going to work out because eventually SCU will run you down and take you over.
Right.
But
and if you look at that last fight, you'll see the Immortality field coming out really early, but you have to argue with the May wall. It might be necessary there.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate to bring your Immortality field out so early in a fight because then later, there's situations where you need it. But
High noon?
Okay. Interesting play here. Everlong.
Oh, it's going to get Kale. That's one. It's going to be the stun on the 4, though, but that Blizzard is just going to eat through SCU, and there's nothing they can do about it.
What a push here so far by BSC.
Ooh.
Wow.
This is rough. And don't forget, though, with overtime like this, with this part, they get no extra time for this point. They have to stay on the point 5 seconds now. It's going to be overtime from this point on, so it's going to be tough. All SE needs to do is get them off the point.
And if you're Nadian, you're just like, I'm booping these guys off. I want them off my point as the high noon is going to come out. Followed up.
Oh,
beautiful wall by Kale.
Whoa!
Now, unfortunately here, it's, the shatter coming through, though. It's going to be big. It's going to get 4 of them here, and it's going to be 2 that fall from it, though. The Blizzard is ready to go.
And Kale just going to say, nope, let's retouch. Let's
reset.
Die here. Let's not get staggered.
Yep. They're just going to keep pushing here. The team kill comes through for the Bobcats, and now they're pushing on around the final corner.
Now let's look at some of these ults. Everlong does have High Noon coming up. That's probably going to be the only ult they have in the fight, maybe Window. But Kale going to have the Blizzard and going to have the Beat. These two could be extreme win conditions in the fight. And this Mako might be dead here, but able to get out of it. And here's the Blizzard coming in. We talked about it. Going to get.
This is going to be huge.
And that's a big Blizzard.
That is a big Blizzard securing
Boops?
5 here.
Is that Boops?
That's the Boops.
It is, and there you go. At least they're not able to get all the way off.
It's not the full push.
At least they were able to get one win, and that's all the win. That's all the fights they needed to win. They just had to get them off the point. They did exactly that. But now let me tell you, SCU has a mountain to climb in these next 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Jeez, I gotta say, they have to make it
nearly all the way.
Nearly all the way.
And we're looking at each other, Finn. I don't know about this.
It's tough. It's gonna be real tough. I'll be honest with you. But I think SCU has the potential to do it.
Right.
And
that potential always there. But can they do it is the question.
They have 20 seconds more than what the Bobcats had. So if they can just get the momentum, if they can just keep moving forward.
Hold up.
Is this staying? This is staying.
Bastion and Farah.
Interesting.
What? Now Kale is going to have a wall here, which could sort of deal with the Bastion.
Agape's got to deal with this Farah.
But Agape's got to deal with the Farah. And you have the Orisa. This is a comp that I'm looking at you, Finn. I don't know if SCU is ready for this. I don't think they're going to expect it.
I don't think it's expected, but I'm also a little questionable on how it's going to work.
The thing, you know what the play is here, Finn, is I think BSC might know their comp here is beatable, but I think with how unexpected it is, it might take SCU a few fights to beat it.
Right.
Because they're going to have to
playing
make
for time.
adjustments. So they're playing this for time. Let's win as many fights as we can.
This
When they
looks
figure out our
cel-shaded
comp,
here.
we can change it. And they're calling out, they got a Bastion, and already
And they
Mako
gotta make
going
their
to
way
get
through
swarmed.
the
And
hotel.
once
The
again, that immortality
fear
having to
going
come
out
out
pretty
very early. And I don't know if it was necessary there, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that as necessary there. It does have
Because he doesn't
15
have it now for
seconds.
15 seconds.
Heals are coming through. They're on the point here. It's going to be the big fight.
Nice
now.
heals.
It is contested
Maywall
here.
going
They
to
need
block
to
him
deal
off.
with this contesting. And now, as
Okay,
they get
I'm
off
going to have
OBL.
to retreat.
OBL's going to be the one to watch here. He's the one that's just going to be consistently contesting. He's going to be going on and off the point as long as he can. But SU does fall, and Kairos is going to be on the retreat here.
Agape going to get the Mercy at least.
Yeah, he's looking for it, but it's not
Going
going,
to get staggered a little
long
bit.
for this world.
And like we said, they're playing for time. At this point, they are making some adjustments with the comp. They're realizing, oh, we got to switch to Monkey. We got to get an Echo. They're making some of these adjustments. But all of this stuff is costing them time.
Yeah, and Everlong already has the barrage again. Everlong has just been the MVP of this game.
We also have Mines, which is a great zoning. KO.
Great zone.
Oh, barrage right here. Watch it.
Yep, there it is.
Yep.
The
And,
triple,
and we both
the
knew that was
quad.
going to be huge as it secures 4 kills.
Dang. OBL taken to 1 HP, but just not able to be finished off by Agape here. Fabian's got the
Agape
tank
going to
ready
get the
go.
ball, though, and going to get the res. At least, they don't have it now for this next fight. And this probably will be the last fight. The
This
question
is
is,
it.
how are they going to deal with this Bastion? I think before you deal with the Bastion, you got to deal with this pharmacy right in front
Gotta
of
deal
you.
with the pharmacy.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to focus on both of them, You've got a
It's
barrage of
tough.
bullets coming at you one way. You've got actual missiles coming at you another way.
Oh, Kairos going up for it.
This
It's going to be
doesn't look
Agape
good.
with the high noon. But there are too many shields in the way here, and he's not going to be able to get anything out of it. The tank coming down from Fabian. He's just going to be raining fire from above. Healing, just dip, duck, diving, and dodging here. Going in and out with the heals. And now,
And
it's
can
gonna
I
be
say
SU.
it? What a great setup they have, though. They have the Orisa, which you can't touch the Orisa shield because it's such a narrow area. The Bastion just has to shoot straight. Like, that's not something they can touch. Especially with how tanky the Orisa is. The Orisa has gold, which solidify, which, she can, it makes her so hard to hit. You can't really get them off that high ground because of how tightly consolidated they are. It's just a great setup.
Yeah, it's been oh my goodness. Look at the chaos that unfolded during this fight.
And SCU, despite a promising start, they're going to go down 2 maps, and they're going to need a reverse sweep to pull this off.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough, but they do get map choice once again here. It's important.
Who do you think?
to
Who do you
remember.
think they choose? Or map?
Who do you think
map
they
wise.
choose?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know.
We're going double capture point. I think we probably see Volsky. I'll be honest with you. I think we see Volsky.
Right. I understand. I definitely think those are their stronger maps. I think control point probably their weakest.
I think I'd agree.
But I don't know. Scrims row, as we like to call it here at SCU.
Scrims are over.
Scrims row. That's usually their stronger map.
I agree. Scrims are also it is going to be Volskaya though, and it's going to be the ready
Right.
call coming out.
So,
from both teams
I
here.
want to talk about this for a second. I think the reason they were able to play so well defensively, BSC that is because of that unpredictable comp they ran. Because you had so much SU had to deal with. We already know Everlong can do so much damage on that Pharah, but then on top of that, you have this Bastion hidden up on high ground with an Orisa, who you can't touch the Orisa, especially with her Solidify.
It's a tough spot, and especially since Arisa has the ability to just put up a new shield so
Right.
quickly after her first one goes away, it's a big problem, and that's why the Arisa Bastion combo
And you
can
had-
be devastating.
Right, and you had Mako switch off to a Monkey to try to jump up there, but honestly, how do you do that? The Bastion, because it's such a narrow line of sight, all the Bastion has to do is just shoot straight, and there's such a small entry point for the Monkey that it's hard to dive that.
It's extremely difficult, and it looks like Interesting.
This map is going to be the one where SCU, they know they have to win this, right? We talked about the first one, how mentally they had to win it. This one, just like realistically, they need to win this or it's over for them. So it's an interesting comp. And once again, you have OBS drastically switching off their comp. You know, like they've just run so many different things this whole game. SCU hasn't been able to adapt fast enough. I think that's been part of the problem here. It's the Pharah's causing them trouble. They adapt to the Pharah. Now you got a McCree. Now you got a Bastion. And now you have an Echo, an Ashe, a Hog, a Sig. Like, I think pretty much every one of these characters, except for the Mercy, which is going to be huge for that res, is different.
Look at Kale here. He's like, you know,
okay.
I can play fair.
I don't like this.
I don't like this either.
I don't like this. Let me tell you why. It's because an Echo is almost like a more reliable Pharah in a sense. And I think the Echo's just going to combat this. And I also think in order for a Pharah to work, you need to have a Mercy that can basically just stay on that Pharah the whole time.
Which they do have.
But I also think when you have an Ashe on the opponent's side,
it's difficult.
It's a really difficult thing to do, especially do well.
I think the other thing, too, about Echo is Echo wins dogs fights much easier than a Pharah does.
Exactly. Now,
because with Pharah in a dogfight, you have to lead your shots so much more. The travel time is much more significant than the travel time of Echo's shots.
Right,
so
that's
Echo's
exactly.
easier time shooting you out of the air than a Pharah does.
Oh, and all them on fire here. Ooh, Everlong, this might be a shot. But no, not going to be able to get a kill there. And Zarya just going to get a little bit of charge for her shield.
And now it's going to be SCU doing their absolute best to make it.
Oh no, I don't like this. You have a Ashe right there, and these SCU players just lining up for him like it's like shooting a fish in a barrel.
Yeah. I gotta say, a lot of this is going to be up to Agape and how he can deal with Everlong. Everlong already has the ultimate ready to go here. Personality Matrix. The Nano went through, but Mako gets taken down here with that Discord orb. This is a lost fight. They gotta regroup. It's definitely a lost fight. And honestly, you know, I like to talk about him whenever he shows up because he's like my favorite character in the game. Zenyatta. Let's talk about this really quick.
Let's do it.
I like the pick here. And I was going to talk about it earlier, but we got a little bit distracted with the DPS stuff. So let's talk about this really quick. Just to we've been talking about DPS all night. Let's give the supports a little bit of a shout. Cole the Crazy. He got play of the game last game. Zenyatta, I think, is really great here. And the reason why is you've got the Harmony Orb, right? That's extra healing on your Echo if your Mercy needs to swap off to someone else. Yeah, it's slow healing, but it is guaranteed, and you don't have to aim it, unlike a lot of the other healing in Overwatch. The other thing, too, is the Discord.
But that's a big pick.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Kale Games gets taken out. Everlong going to be... that's a nice big. Sleep, but they're big going to actually wake him up here. And now it's the Bob coming out from Fabian here. The Bob came out from Agape, though, and it's going to scare down a Narwhal. And it's actually a win for SCU in this fight, and it looks like they're going to be able to take the point. Here comes Echo Bob.
Echo Bob and...
Oh, take it down, though.
It's a little bit of a waste there, but it was already popped by that point. So.
Regardless, SCU, it took a little bit of doing, but they got it done, and they take the first point here on Volskaya.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at Kairos in this grab and only wishing that Agape was on a Hanzo right now, because I'm sure they'd like to have a grab dragon, especially for these tankier players like the Hog.
Honestly, grab Bob isn't bad either, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? If you position it correctly, Bob just right into him. They can't move. They can't get into cover, and it's a good old time.
A nice use of shield there.
100%.
Or bubble.
Look at that chart.
Oh, but Kairos going to bubble herself. Get some heals. Okay. They have time to play this. They just play this safe. Oh, and we got a Torb?
We got a Torb.
Everlong, what heroes don't you play?
Apparently he plays
all
there's
the grab.
Deal lots of damage. The grab coming
in
out
the Nano?
Here, and the Valve.
And this is big.
The flux. It's going to be killing Nadium with the first part of it, and it's going to be going down here. It's going to be SU still in the advantage in this fight, though. The res coming through on a Nadium.
That's a big res.
That is a big res indeed. That's both supports up for SU, and they're going to be winning this fight.
I think so. And
I think they can win the point.
And let me tell you, Finn, I love that res on Nadian. And Nadian's going to go down. But
Oh, they get pushed back. What happened
They were so
there?
close. It's the ball. Look at that.
Holy cow, the triple.
And I love that res on the Nadian because they had the on a back, they had heals to keep them alive while they waited for the other members to trickle in, but just not enough, and that's unfortunate. I really expected them to them to win this fight as the ball going to be anteed for just a bit.
I feel like there's nothing quite as funny in Overwatch as when you watch this. Like, they're just sitting there, right? And then this flipping nano grenade comes in.
Yep. Oh, nice sleep by Nadian. Can they kill the ball here?
Yep, that's going to be good damage. Coming on to OBL. He's going to be
Doesn't
running
look like
away.
it. Ball's going to go down here. They got a monkey now.
Yeah, they do indeed. And I honestly think this monkey pick is pretty good.
But what about the Torb pick, Finn?
We don't talk about Torb. Torb does not deserve.
But Torb, as much as you don't want to talk to him, talk about him. Torb does have his ult now, and this could be a great zoning ult to push SCU off the point in case they do stumble upon it. And KO going to get in the line of sight of Fabian, and you never want to get in the line of sight of an Ashe. I don't necessarily know if that ult was necessary from the Zen.
I don't know, but we got the 3 ultimates used by SCU here, and they're looking to try
Kyro's gonna get
and win
hard
this fight, but
fucking
that
there.
lava is just keeping them off the point here.
And this is still winnable if you're SCU.
Oh, it is definitely still winnable.
Oh,
I would say,
never mind.
Never mind. It's over. It's over now. Scratch that. Oh.
While they're regrouping, let's look at these ults right now. I would say, number-wise, it's pretty even. I know technically BSC, excuse me. What?
You can take it. Pull your mask.
Oh.
No, sit down.
Oh. I know BSC does have, more ults, just number-wise. But if you look at the stats, I think this grab, Bob, like you said, should be a good win condition for them on this point. But, because of the time they're taking to regroup, this might be the last fight for them.
Yeah, this is going to be the last fight here for this final point. Now, admittedly, SCU still has a fairly
Who do you
good
nano
chance.
here if you're Nadian?
If you're
Sorry to
Nadian,
interrupt you.
I nano the Bob. Straight
Okay.
up, I nano the Bob. And the reason for that is Bob has...
Oh, that's 3 kills.
That's
That's
4
4 kills.
That's a bad Bob, though, coming out from Agape.
And Fabian has a Bob of his own.
Oh, no. That Bob was going to be so substantial in helping them win this fight, and it's just gone, yeah. It's
But
gonna be
this is
Mako
still
with the
winnable.
nano here.
This is
And
still
now,
winnable.
It is still winnable. Oh, man, that Bob really hurts me a lot. Here we go. Mako
We'll have to take a
jumping
look at
in
this.
on Everlong
Oh.
here. It's going to be the primal just for the healing, but it's not going to be
that's
able to
not
keep
gonna
him
be
alive
it.
forever? Question mark? B's keeping him alive,
Oh,
though,
and
and
you
they're
heard-
going to contest.
And you heard Kale call it out. They have a Bastion, and that Bastion going to make things troublesome, but not really going
They're
to
still
matter. They're going
contesting.
to win the fight anyway. And Kale going right in the face of the Bastion.
Jeez. My goodness.
And SCU, if there was ever a need for a defensive stand, it's now, as their season is on the line in this last point.
Man, it all comes down to this defense.
And let me tell you, very early on, I thought they were winning that. I did.
Yeah.
They had a great second fight after claiming point A, heading over to point B. They had the numbers, but then this ball comes in, and I guess the name is true. It really is spin to win.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And I gotta say, it's definitely no way that you want to go out losing in the first round of playoffs. As the
Well, they
last
haven't
game
lost
of the
just
season.
yet, Finn.
I'm talking about like if this happens. All right, this
Okay.
is the normal thing.
Hypotheticals.
So,
Let's live in those hypotheticals.
I think that SU is going to put on their best defense. Their best defense for this.
They have to.
Honestly, look at this comp. I don't know how to feel about it.
They're borrowing the Orisa Bastion that we just saw not too long ago from BSC, or from BSC. They're borrowing that comp, but I don't know about it on this map. I think what I see here is I know we've seen the ball from BSC before. I see them switching off to ball, getting the Bastion off high ground, or getting the Orisa off high ground, and then winning the fight from there. But it's going to be interesting to see what this Monkey is able to do dive-wise.
This is going to be.
And the Tracer. I think Monkey and Tracer are both Bastion killers that they can use to win the fight.
Let's see how this goes. Back up a little bit. Didn't like his. Oh no! Oh no, that one little piece of metal there, keeping his shots at bay.
But
it
gonna
will
get
be
a
the
kill
first
on the
kill
on, and that's a
Nicole.
big pick.
That's a good pick.
And Tracer
was
gonna
big.
be in the back, gonna dive that Bastion.
Wait, no?
Oh, Agape sees him.
Oh, here
Zen?
we go. It's gonna be
Oh,
B.
gonna kill the
Looking
Zen,
on him here.
maybe.
The damage coming through. Just needs to get
And
the
she
pulse
wasn't
bomb
e-
charged.
The Tracer wasn't even touched. But there you
there
go.
it is.
B gonna say, where enough is enough, I'm gonna punch you. Gonna get that kill. And like we said, this is the point where if BSC feels like they need to make some
It's an
adjustments for this comp, they are going to. And yes, Everlong going to grab the Echo, gonna get a Hog. I see them breaking the shield and
not gonna
hooking
lie
the
to you, though.
Bastion off of high ground.
I feel like Pharah is better than Echo here.
I
feel like
I
Pharah's
would
fair.
agree because you do a lot more damage.
You've got more burst,
Right.
right? And the thing about Bastion is he's got a lot of that self-healing. So I feel
Right.
like the burst is necessary. The Sigma Berry is going to come up for the protection.
But
here,
I
it's
think
going to
I
be
think they're
coming
gonna
out.
wait until that shield. Ooh, nice play by Sigma there. I see what they're
Yeah.
doing is they're breaking this shield. They're saying, okay, shield's down. Now we're gonna hook the Bastion.
Yeah. This
Now
is
they're just gonna
to
take
be-
a second to hide. They're gonna go get the shield back. Uh-oh. I see Fabian getting something out of this.
You
Can they
calling
get
him
the shield
Fabian or
down?
Fabian?
I say
been
Fabian.
calling him
But
Fabian.
Mako gonna get a kill on the
Yeah,
Mercy.
that's
and once
actually a
again,
really great
if
pick.
you can get one of those healers, especially the Mercy who has res, that's a pick you want to see.
I gotta say, Mako's...
Oh, but B gonna be popped off,
he's good,
and
he's good, he's
Kairo's
good.
gonna be popped off.
I gotta say, Mako's Sigma play has been really great here. Like, yeah, they're starting to lose this fight here, but let's just talk really quick about Mako's Sigma play. It's been really good. He has been playing it so defensively well
Right.
that I don't think I've seen any Sigma player play like that before.
Right,
In
but-
terms of that level.
Like I just said, there you go. I expected the ball coming out of OBL, gonna swap off from the Monkey. I think it's I think Narwhal was on the Monkey, but gonna swap off of the Monkey. I think when you're dealing with a Bastion, especially on a map like this, it's really great because you can just boot the Bastion off the high ground, and in this case, boot the Zenyatta off the map. And it does just come down to this point. Note that SCU was able to get a full tick. So,
A full tick in almost a second here.
But-
around that 66%.
oh, that's kind of
that
a
we saw
big
before.
mine.
Oh, the mine's coming through. It's
And
gonna be
already
the
is it
Echo
over?
Flux
It
coming up.
is.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. And just like
Yeah.
that, SCU going to be knocked out of the playoffs.
Wow.
And I think this stunned me. It stunned you. And
yeah,
I'm
I was
surprised to see
not
this.
expecting this.
you come out, you have them seeded 12th as opposed to SCU's 21st, and it is a bit of an underdog story. But I thought they would have the chemistry, and with all their players back in, I'm not quite sure this match happened the way either of us anticipated.
No, I definitely agree with you there, Austin. But you know, that's it. We were honestly ready for the long haul. There, I was ready for the long haul. 4 hours of Overwatch.
But
But you
Here
know,
we are.
it happens, and that's perfectly okay. But you know, it's been a fantastic season overall, I'd say. There's been a lot that's
Absolutely.
happened this season. It's been ups and downs.
we laughed.
We
We
cried.
cried. Well, no, we didn't
No,
cry.
we didn't cry.
There's
We
no
didn't
reason to
cry.
cry.
There
It's
was no
Overwatch. And
You know,
we
maybe
got
we
some
stuck
we
with
got
it.
some shockers. We got some Zamboni drivers.
We did.
We had me play a little bit. We had Finn cast me playing. Finn
That
didn't
was
play.
fun. That was fun. Did you
he's-
actually go and watch those?
watch what?
The games where you played?
I rewatched the games. You did a good job casting.
I was gonna make a joke and be like, "Oh, good, he hasn't seen it yet," but I can't make that joke.
We yeah, and it came down to this: red team missing out on the playoffs, black team making it. But there you go. Looks like, as something McCree would say, it's the end of the line.
It's the end of the line, partner. But regardless, it has been a great season, and you know what? Next semester in the fall promises to be another one where we'll be playing the Sun Conference. It's going to be a bit different. I think it's going to be exciting, kind of a little bit more official in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
It's
But-
going to be good. So,
But this
yeah.
isn't the last you'll see of us. If you want to see more of our casting, more of what we do, you can tune into Coco and Casters, a show where we talk about stuff and play games. It will be the last episode of the semester for us, but
We might actually do it over the summer.
well, maybe
Potentially.
We'll see.
We're
potentially,
kind of in the works.
But
on that.
nevertheless, we have loved having you as an audience today and all the games before it, and we look forward to you and joining us next semester. So,
Well, until then, my name's Finberry,
my name's Austin
and we'll
Clokus.
see you next time.